The 2K Sports pregame show.
We have started the big countdown, and the hour is almost here. But before we celebrate at midnight, we welcome you to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. This is very exciting.
Yes.
For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Detroit Pistons as they go up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota comes into this one after the win against the Jazz at Energy Solutions Arena. A terrific underdog win in that last game. They're feeling good, looking to keep it up tonight. One thing the Timberwolves were sorely lacking last year was a post presence inside. They were able to get the top pick in the draft and chose Karl Anthony Towns. How much better is their offense with him?
Well, hopefully if he comes out and is very explosive offensively, teams will be forced to help down low on their perimeter players. He can kick it out. What I like about Towns, he's mobile, and he still has the ability to get out and run. He's a young buck, fresh legs, glove speed.
You know what? Adding him to the team, fresh leg, I like that.
Fresh legs.
I just got that. I got that. You know what? Anyway. There would be an offensive inside-out now with Wiggins and him. And at first, I was a little apprehensive. And then with Kevin Garnett still there, being a great tutor, there will be a lot more fluidness to their offensive talent.
Fluidness.
3 big words in one sentence. You got a dictionary over there or something?
Fluidity,
Man.
fluidness.
You must have went to the University of North Carolina or something.
Yes. I actually did.
Here's Kevin Harlan.
Happy New Year's Eve. Thank you for joining us here on 2K Sports for the NBA. We're all dressed up and ready to go. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke on our sideline. We're in the Palace of Auburn Hills. The Pistons are playing before their hometown crowd here in the Detroit area. You look at Minnesota, they're one of the most dangerous teams in the NBA right now. No question, they've won 7 of their last 8.
All of their recent games have been high-energy, high-quality efforts. I mean, they've been playing with a lot of emotion, but they've channeled it in the right way, and they're still playing with a lot of discipline as well.
Fun to watch, guys, really. Just playing hard, but also under control. So that effort and execution that you talked about, coupled with the teamwork every time they take the floor.
And checking out Minnesota's opening lineup. Rubio and Martin are their backcourt. Towns is out there with Garnett, and it's Wiggins in at the 3. And no good, his first shot of the night, missing. A lot of comparisons have been made about Andrew Wiggins. Kobe Bryant, in fact, Clark went as far as to say that he sees a lot of himself in Wiggins as a player.
Ultimate compliment there. I mean, that's exactly what Kobe Bryant just gave him. Wiggins has the chance to reach that level, I think.
Talking about Kobe, seeing Wiggins as a young version of himself. The skill set Wiggins has is eerily similar to that of a young Kobe. For me, the one thing that set Kobe apart and made him a champion really was his work ethic. If Wiggins can improve and work like Kobe did, then like Kobe, the sky could be the limit.
That one misses, so he goes 1 for 2.
And guys, how about Ilyasova last season shooting the basketball? Always a decent threat to score. His improvements in efficiency were amazing. He increased his field goal accuracy from 41 to 47% in only 1 year.
And the basket good.
He can be a weapon if he gets going early from long range.
Here's Minnesota. 4-point game. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
You just have to admire the versatility they were able to display offensively.
Scoring came from every direction, all over the place. I mean, if one approach didn't work for them, they found another one that did.
And we were talking about Ilyasova. There's a reason his field goal percentage went up last season. It wasn't necessarily better shooting. It was probably better shot selection.
And I think the scheme played to his strengths. Lots of ball movement, penetration, kicking out to open spot-up shooters. Ersan showed us that's his kind of game.
Good.
I love how he used his height advantage on that shot.
And he had the nice soft touch with it, too.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Well, Stan Van Gundy gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. I asked him about the player he'll try to key on in this matchup, and he had no hesitation saying Kevin Garnett. He said what makes KG special and such a problem to deal with is he can control games on both ends of the floor with his offensive and defensive skill set, saying he has so much length it makes it very difficult around both keys for us.
Thank you, Doris. Clock is at 3, and he gets the bucket. Wiggins has got his first basket of the night.
Just the height separation on that mid-range jumper. Excellent job of taking advantage.
Jennings against Rubio. Jennings with the bucket. And for Detroit, they come in off a good outing against New York.
And Kevin, you know, they showed how important it is to have a strong bench. I mean, when you are on the road, that depth is vital. I think they really utilized the second unit to extend their offensive assault and just really wore down their opponent.
And, guys, I think what you saw from them throughout the game was teamwork. This is a team. Regardless of who was out there on the floor at any given time, they got it done. And that has to make you feel good as a group.
Here's Jennings after the made shot from Karl Anthony Towns. It's Meeks outside. Kicks it out to Johnson. And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. The second chance effort. Meeks, good. Meeks got his first 2 points. Minnesota really had a rough year last season. A lot of people know that, obviously. A lot to do with their defense. Greg, struggled in almost every defensive metric.
Yeah, and, you know, they struggled at times guarding the basketball, but ultimately I think the biggest issue for them was their inability to protect the rim. That's an area and a point of emphasis that has to improve for this young team.
Rubio misses.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Jennings with the bucket.
Looked like he was channeling Bob Cousy right there. Since when does he take guys off the dribble like that?
Timberwolves trail by 5.
You know, with the Timberwolves in their defense, it was the league's worst in opponent field goal percentage. Also dead last in field goal percentage, which takes threes into account for the value they add. So near the bottom of the league in block shots as well. Hard to win when you're struggling in those areas.
Here's Martin following the bucket by the Pistons. On the wing, Johnson covered by Wiggins. Meeks passes to Drummond. There's the 3. Rebounded by the Timberwolves.
And really, overall, the defense was just very poor. The defensive field goal percentage at the rim, worst in the league last season. And you don't have to block them all, but you need to do a better job of challenging shots, something the Wolves are going to have to work on.
Now Jennings after the missed 3 from Garnett. They set the pick. Johnson attacking. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Johnson's got 5.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
Now here is Martin. 9 points last game, and Towns gets it to go.
How about he has yet to miss 4-4 to start?
Yeah, he's setting himself up to be their go-to guy today.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. Well, last season, the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
So Detroit ends up going with the new group. Detroit leading by 7. Here's Caldwell Pope. And looking at his production, he averages a little more than 7 points a game. Fades away. That's good.
And I bet most people forget that the Pistons did make the playoffs for 8 straight years before this current drought. It's been a long rebuild process for them recently, but I think they're making progress and moving in the right direction.
And it's slammed in by Garnett.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying antics to narrow the deficit.
Tell you what, fellas, that could give them the energy boost they've been looking for.
So it's Detroit now, following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Jackson kicks to Tolliver. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That one is on Towns.
And for the Pistons, they seem to have a direction and plan now that just wasn't the case before. It won't be easy to get back into the postseason, but I really feel like they are on the right path.
What do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Pistons?
Boy, they've come out of that locker room with the hot hand. Those jumpers have been falling for them.
And also another aspect of their game that's been super so far tonight is how they've been sharing the basketball.
Minnesota making a switch here. Pekovic is checked in. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
Now here's Pekovic, coming off a stellar performance against Utah. And Baines pulls it down.
I like that creativity, double clutching and catch the defender on the way down. I can go for that.
The drive by Jackson. Five on the clock. Morris kicks to Jackson. No good off the back of the rim. Well, with Coach Stan Van Gundy, it was a very successful first year in Detroit. He's a guy who's going to build around defense. That's been his MO.
And Van Gundy has always been a defensive first type guy, Kevin. I mean, the last 30 years he's has probably the best defensive efficiency for a career as a coach, and his teams always play with great emphasis on that side of the ball.
Pushing their lead to double digits.
And it's like raining buckets right now. I wonder if this is the early stages of a blowout.
Well, we've got to be careful. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet. But it has been pretty ugly so far, no doubt about that.
Here's Pekovic following the bucket by the Pistons. Wiggins kicks to Pekovic. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
The last 5 trips they've had have ended with a great pass leading to a basket. They're really sharing the sugar.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
And that concludes the first quarter of play. Pistons lead by 9. And we're getting back to the action in our New Year's Eve broadcast. And what stands out to you from the Pistons so far in this one?
I just like the way they're getting out in the open floor, taking advantage of all those fast break chances here early on.
I agree with you, Greg. I mean, they can run, and they've done a good job filling the lanes in transition.
Timberwolves trail by 9. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Martin and Wiggins out on the perimeter. Garnett out there with Towns, and it's Rubio in at the 1 spot.
Boy, you got to love that nice assist by Jennings.
Drummond, a bit of a disappointing season last year. Not so much in play, but people wanted to see a bigger leap from him. Now, his numbers are still pretty jaw-dropping. But I think he's got so much there to give.
He has a lot of potential, Kevin. And listen, I don't think his play was bad. He just had such huge expectations to live up to. I mean, player development is not a straight line, and it would have been very hard to have him take another huge leap forward. Sometimes you have that sophomore jinx. But I'm expecting a big year from him this season.
Now here's Garnett after the miss from Andre Drummond. The jump hook, and the Timberwolves tack on 2 more. Just over 1 minute has passed here in the second quarter. To the middle, here's Morris. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. Jennings has got 4 assists in the game. Timberwolves trail by 8. In the corner, it's Martin. Dishes to Towns. Outside for Martin. Second chance shot. The shot is off. Some solid defense there from Jackson. For Detroit, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Drills the three-pointer. And it's an 11-point Detroit lead.
Not the biggest fan of that shot, but he had the space to get it off, so why not?
Here's Garnett. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Garnett's got his 3rd basket of the night right there. Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. Last time they came together was in Minnesota, where they fell to the Wolves.
Probably their poorest defensive effort all season long. I mean, at home, that kind of D is not going to cut it. Never mind when you're on the road.
Hey, I don't know, guys. This may be all speculation. Perhaps they had a bad flight into town the night before, and we all know a rough flight in can lead to turbulence on the court.
And the Pistons making a change here. Ilyasova's checked in. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Zhang's checked in. 2 minutes now played in the second quarter. Detroit leading by 9. Jennings kicks to Johnson. There's the dish to Jackson. The feed to Jennings. Rubio comes with the double team. Tries from 10. Jackson misses. The Timberwolves have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. To the middle, here's Dang. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Zhang's got his first bucket of the night.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening.
It really is, Clark. The defenders need to do a better job of closing those lanes to the hoop.
Fans had a hard time finding their way to the stadium last season for the Pistons at the bottom in several home attendance categories last year.
Yeah, that's right in Auburn Hills.
I know.
I mean, they used to go a lot when they were winning championships. But to be fair to those fans, it was hard at times to watch the Pistons play. I mean, they could get cold and really struggle on their home floor.
And he gets it to go.
Terrific assist that time by Rubio.
Detroit's gone 3 of 6 tonight when they've let it fly from downtown. Jennings wide open. Another 3 for Detroit.
And for the Pistons, a lot of their woes here at home were due to defense. I mean, their 18-23 home record comes from allowing too many good looks for their opponents.
Johnson dishes to Ilyasova. Pass to Jackson. Right wing. It's Jennings with the drive. Takes a 3. A rebound by the Timberwolves.
And the Pistons, how about starting out 2-13 at home? I mean, they did turn it around afterwards, going 16-10 to finish out the season. At least they seem to be headed in the right direction.
He dishes it to Jackson. To the inside, Ilyasova. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson.
And the interior D is really starting to be exposed here. How many layups have they gotten today?
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout.
And for Reggie Jackson, the league is going the right way in terms of his skill set. Everyone loves the guard who can shoot well enough to bust the zone, as well as make plays for others and at the rim. And Jackson is that guy.
And back to Jackson. He really took on the playmaker role after being traded to the Pistons. As a Detroit player, he averaged over 9 assists a game, Clark, which would have put him 4th overall in the league had it been for a full campaign.
Loved his aggressiveness, which led to opportunities for his teammates, but it also led to turnovers. That part of his game he's got to tighten up.
Jody Meeks, he's checked in for the Pistons. Detroit on D. The drive by Rubio. Zhang with a clean look. Misses the three.
You know, 9 times out of 10, he's going to knock that one down. He'll spray that one on you.
Tipped away. And now with the fast break, Rubio with the ball. Shoots it up. Another miss by Minnesota.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be, he's not making that one.
Timberwolves trail by 10. Wiggins kicks to Towns. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron. Towns has got 10 points in the game.
I tell you what, fellas, we're seeing some really good ball movement out there.
Definitely. 10 of their last 12 points have come off assists.
Jackson has the open look. Detroit, no good that time either.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots simply have not been there. Nothing seems to be falling.
Outside, Martin. Rubio against Drummond. 5 on the clock. And Jackson with the basket on the assist by Meeks. 7 points for Reggie Jackson.
And I like the fact that he really was unfazed by that scoreless first quarter, and now you can see him getting into a rhythm.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Drummond.
A moment now to see the numbers for Jackson. He's putting up 13 points a game, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
And guys, they're finally getting the consistency they wanted to see from him. Look for that to continue.
On the inbound, it'll go, and the Detroit lead is cut back down to 8. An important basket there from Rubio.
Couldn't run the inbound play any better than right there.
Rubio against Jackson. Can't get it to go. Wiggins with some nice D. Timberwolves trail by 8. Rubio with it. Guarded now by Jackson. Wiggins against Johnson. And stolen by Ilyasova. And here's Meeks. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. It's Jackson with the drive. And the rejection by Jang. And they'll keep possession. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. A different look here for Detroit. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Ilyasova. Marcus Morris comes in for Johnson. And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in for Jody Meeks. And then for Minnesota, Kevin Garnett is checked in for Jang. Muhammad comes in for Andrew Wiggins. And Zach LaVine subbed in for Kevin Martin. Now, here's Rubio. An 11-point game for him in the win against Utah.
And he also was a table setter in that game, Kevin. Just an amazing job with his passing. Just a joy to watch that. And a lot of teams in the West can at least get a little bit of a breather when they go against the Eastern teams. The Wolves didn't have that last year. They got pummeled by the entire conference. Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Purposeful passing it is, partner. Their last 10 points have all come off assists.
Now here's Jackson. 14 points from him the last game against the Knicks in New York. Greg, as you said, with the Wolves, they had as hard a time with the East as anyone. Only managed a 9-21 record, Clark, out of conference.
And those 9 wins were the fewest against the East for any team in the NBA. Not a surprise given how badly the Wolves struggled in general.
Here's Morris following the 3 by Minnesota. Here's Caldwell-Pope, and right away they match it with a 3-pointer of their own. Caldwell-Pope's got 5 now. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. They set the pick. And Rubio kicks to Towns. It falls for the 6th time in 7 tries this contest. That's 86%. Pistons leading by 8. That's tipped. to the left side wing. That shot by Caldwell Pope, no good. Towns with it. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And that does it for the first half of play. Pistons ahead, up 8. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Ricky, what does it say about this team to have such great productivity from the bench, and what does it do for you guys as a unit?
It's amazing. That means like we have a deep bench, and then a lot of work from the staff, from the everybody of the team, like doing extra work and winning games.
Well done, Ricky. Thank you. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with the second half of basketball shortly.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We welcome you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Detroit finds themselves ahead after 2 quarters. They have an 8-point lead. Shaq, give me your take.
They did an awesome-horrific job. That's right, Ernie, awesome-horrific. That's awesome and terrific together. Anyway, they did an awesome-horrific job of limiting turnovers. They were almost mistake-free. They put you in the right frame of mind when you can play like that. As long as they keep protecting the ball in the next 2 quarters, they will protect the lead.
Kenny, let's get your insight on the Timberwolves.
They're not getting to the line or putting enough pressure on the defense. They have to be much more aggressive pushing the basketball, going hard to the rack. Because if you want the ref to make a call, put them in the position to make a judgment call. If you're not creating opportunities for contact, you have no chance of picking up points at the line.
All right, and that'll do it for us here. We now take you back to the second half of our game. Kevin Harlan ready with the call.
And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
Just a dominating performance in the post by him so far, just tearing them to shreds when he gets it inside.
Yeah, and getting it to him is the only hard part, fellas. I mean, once he has it, he's automatic. Forget about it. He can do work down there.
Timberwolves trail by 8. Jennings and Meeks in the backcourt. Ilyasova out there with Johnson. And it's Drummond in at the center, locking down the middle. That's the group starting the second half for Stan Van Gundy. Now, here is Miller. The pass to Garnett. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Muhammad. Off target with his 3. Pistons leading by 8. There was a time when the media had written off Shabazz Muhammad as an impact player we showed last year. He belongs in this NBA.
Yeah, certainly did. I mean, he improved in every facet of the game, and sometimes we tend to write guys off a little too soon, Kevin. The media in general, not you in particular. He's been a big-time performer for the Wolves.
Miller against Jennings. Oh, and here we go now with Miller. Nobody back. All alone. And he sinks the layup. Miller's got his first 2 points of the night.
That was the 3rd straight high-percentage look this defense has allowed. I mean, these defenders have got to start bumping bodies in the paint. Be more physical. Be more aggressive.
The game's just far too easy right now when it comes to attacking the basket. They have got to do better.
Andrew Wiggins, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Martin comes in for Zach LaVine. Little over a minute gone here in the second half. Nice ball movement by Detroit. There's Jennings. Cans the shot with nobody near him. Jennings has got 12 points in the game. Timberwolves trail by 6. Miller outside. Begovic with a screen. Down low and stolen by Drummond. Meeks passes to Jennings. Kicks it to Meeks. No good. Great D that time from Begovic. Timberwolves have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Wiggins from outside, and that one's good. 8 points for him.
Guys, they've had a solid start to the second half offensively. Gotten good looks, and they've made 3 out of 4 of them.
And Andre Miller, what a virtuoso floor general he has been. By far the career leader in assists among active players. Over 1,000 more assists than the next guy on the list, which is Chris Paul.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Towns, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Andre Miller. Meeks, good. Getting back to Miller last year, he was 16th in the league, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, a couple of things happened, I thought. He slowed down a little, and he was playing behind John Wall. That led to the fewest minutes per game of his career, and the rest of his stats kind of followed suit.
Martin wide open. He fires. No good on the triple. Pistons leading by 5. And that's an intentional foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for Andre Drummond. Meeks, and he uses the glass on the layup. And it's a 7-point Piston lead.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of it.
Rubio dishes to Garnett. Passes to Martin. Back to Garnett. Got it from 16 feet. Garnett's got 8 points.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. And guys, Brandon Jennings, some people love his chaotic game. Some can't stand it. One of the more polarizing talents in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever shoot for an efficient percentage or become a lockdown defender, Kevin. He's an offensive catalyst. He pushes the action, and he'll go on scoring binges, but I think he does more good than bad with his style of play.
And talking about Brandon Jennings, he has an endless bag of tricks, keeping the ball literally on a string, makes behind the back, no look, and off the backboard passes few players would even try. That unpredictability, though, can make him difficult to check and often forces defenders into positions from which they can't recover.
You know, Brandon Jennings is that rare type of difference maker, a guy who can jumpstart your offense without turning the ball over. That's a valuable asset when you're trying to line up the W's.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
Now here's Jennings. 14 points for him. Rubio with the rebound.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
The Pistons have gone 3 of 5 to start the second half, developing a nice rhythm out there. To the wing right side. Now, here's Meeks, covered by Martin. To the right side. Uncovered. Garnett grabs the board. Garnett's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Timberwolves trail. Wiggins from outside. Again, Wiggins missing. Now Detroit moving it up. Meeks leading the charge. Johnson gets the bucket.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
Yeah, the defense is all about disrupting timing and spacing, and what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. Just a bit of an up and down year for the Pistons last season. Had some long winning streaks and some long losing streaks for first-year head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, Kevin, some would say it was addition by subtraction because they really went on that big run after they released Josh Smith. 7 straight wins for them at one point, and they also did have some giant lulls.
First free throw is good.
And, you know, those giant lulls were a big part of the Pistons' season. I mean, their biggest losing streak was 13 straight losses, and a lot of that you attribute to their defense.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Ilyasova. Morris comes in for Johnson. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he's checked in for Meeks. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Brandon Jennings. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
And the Pistons also went into a slump after they traded for Reggie Jackson. 1-9 after the trade deadline. They would end the season on a better note, but truly they were streaky last season. And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety. Really good awareness right there on the assist.
Inside, here's Baines, and it's blocked. And now running it up the court, Martin pushing it up, hits it from three-point range. Martin's got his first 3 points of the game. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
Their defense has been outstanding, closing out on shots and blocking a few as well.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
And last season, really a tale of 2 halves for the Wolves. When Ricky Rubio returned from injury, they just looked so much more in sync as a team.
Well, the Wolves improved just very slightly last year in terms of wins, Clark. The quality of play on the floor, though, was visible.
Yeah, and you know, the team's point differential was a lot better with Rubio in the lineup. They did have some big wins over quality teams, and Rubio's impact was certainly noticeable.
Gorgie Dangs checked in for the Timberwolves. And so he hits both.
Well, I tell you guys, when you look at this Wolves team, I mean, the outlook is really bright. A lot of young talent that's fitting together nicely, good skill set. I think this group could be one to watch and really good going forward.
Jackson with it, now defended by Wiggins. Jackson kicks to Baines. Pistons passing it around, and he gets it to go. Tolliver's got 4 points in the quarter. So for the Timberwolves last year, Greg kind of traded into the top overall pick, getting the Wiggins deal, which means 2 consecutive years of having #1. They're beginning to put together the ingredients.
I think they have a core to ultimately be formidable when you talk about that Western Conference. And to pick up Zach LaVine in that same draft, that was a nice selection as well. And don't discount what Flip Saunders brings to the table in terms of coaching and teaching these young players.
Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the three-point line? Come on.
Minnesota calls timeout.
And Marcus Morris is nicknamed Mook. He has a twin brother, older by 7 minutes, named Markeith. Both brothers played at Kansas, drafted 13th and 14th in the same year. Eventually played for the same pro team. That is joined at the hip.
And looking at the Morris brothers' careers through last season, the one area they haven't been joined at the hip in is in performance. Markeith has shown steady improvement over his first 4 years. Marcus Morris has had a very up and down start to his career.
And you know, Kevin, Marcus has talent. He has versatility. He just hasn't found his role. It's time for him to step out of his brother's shadow and really establish who he is as a player.
Drummond's checked in for Detroit. And the Timberwolves also making a change. Bielitsa's checked in. Rubio against Jackson. Pass to Bielitsa. Outside, Martin. He feeds it to Jang. Gets it to go from 18 feet away. Jang's got 8 points.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Jackson kicks to Drummond. There's the screen. The drive by Jackson. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. He's got 11.
They haven't been as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half. They're playing smart with the lead. I like that. They're being very selective and deliberate in their offense. And that's a good strategy when you're on top.
Now here's Wiggins. He's got 11. Back to Martin, and stolen by Drummond. Here's Caldwell Pope, covered by Martin. Caldwell Pope passes to Jackson. He kicks to Caldwell Pope. High post try. No luck. The Timberwolves go the other way with it. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks.
Man, that is a missed opportunity right there.
And he'll be the first to tell you, Greg, that's one he should have knocked down.
They set the pick. Back to Jackson. Beyond the arc. Jackson can't get that one to fall. Here's Dang. Knocked away. Stolen by Jackson. And as we end the third quarter, a great game. Both teams playing well. Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. Now here's Jennings, and a look at the five for the Timberwolves to start the fourth. Rubio and Martin are their backcourt. Wiggins is out there with Gorgie Dang, and it's Pekovic in at the 5 spot. Kept alive, Drummond, and he finishes it off with a one-handed jam.
And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper position, then slamming home the putback.
Yep, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe.
Johnson with it. Now defended by Wiggins. Here's Meeks. That one wide left. Timberwolves trail by 6. Three-pointer. Martin. That is good.
With the success they've been having from the three-point line since halftime, I'll bet you that scoreboard starts to look a lot different real soon.
Partner, that's assuming they can continue that hot shooting. But if they do, and especially if they can get a few stops, you have to think they'll make this thing interesting.
And here is Johnson following Kevin Martin's 3. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Ilyasova. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings.
And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
And Rubio kicks to Pekovic. And it's sent back by Drummond. And they get it back. Martin with the bucket.
It's as if the defenses have just given up.
Yeah, you know, the pace has only picked up the deeper we've gotten into this game, which is remarkable. It speaks to the endurance and stamina of these teams, and it's also been a lot of fun to watch.
Drummond. Rebounded by Pekovic.
I'll tell you what, for what's really an elementary shot, he looked a little nervous on that release.
That one's in there. The Detroit lead is cut to just 1 point on the basket from Rubio. Detroit's gone 6 of 14 with the 3 ball tonight, just a little over 40%. Now a timeout called by Detroit. And last season, an injury-filled one for Nikola Pekovic. Played only 31 games before he was sidelined. Clark with an Achilles injury.
Yeah, and you know, he wasn't even playing quite up to par before the injury, Kevin. After shooting well over 50% in each of his first 4 seasons, he dropped to under 43% last year.
And on the subject of Pekovic, last season was another difficult step back for him physically. At some point, one wonders if his whole career becomes in jeopardy. It just takes so much effort to keep coming back.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Stan Van Gundy said to the team. He said, guys, this is the kind of game we're capable of playing when we put our minds to it. I knew we had it in us. just like I know we're going to come out on top. Let's finish this thing. Guys?
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
And guys, I, for one, can relate to what Pekovic is going through. I mean, it's not easy as a big man to get those injuries to your legs. I mean, you're carrying a lot of weight and force around. I mean, let's hope Nikola finds a little more luck going forward as far as the injury.
Here's Meeks. And the rebound goes to Martin.
Well, if this game comes down to the rebounding battle, they'll be the ones coming out on top.
They've had a strong game on that front, Clark, no doubt about it.
Now here is Martin. Feeds it to Wiggins to take the lead. Detroit with the rebound. Ilyasova's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Out to the right wing. Baseline try. Bounces high off the rim and drops. And the Pistons lead by 3.
If you're waiting for him to miss when he's that open, you're going to be in for a long wait.
Garnett outside. Wiggins dishes to Towns. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. Karl Anthony Towns didn't come into the previous year as the most highly touted prospect, Clark, but his play last year at Kentucky would change that.
No question about it. People knew he was going to be good, Kevin, but few saw him being this
now,
good.
Gentlemen,
he showed he could do a little bit of everything
shots
as a Kentucky big.
The free throw drops for Towns.
And guys, with Towns, he is so valuable in every aspect of the game. Really great at both ends of the floor. His defense is as strong as it gets for a first-year player.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Shabazz Muhammad's checked in for Wiggins. Zach LaVine comes in for Kevin Martin. And Miller's subbed in for Ricky Rubio. He hits both from the stripe.
And perhaps the biggest plus about Towns is his upside. I mean, he's shown that he can make big strides in his level of play. Already good at shooting from outside and can play either post spot, too. He always knows where his teammates are going to be, and, Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Now, here is Miller, and dead on that time. Beautiful shot.
Textbook. Nice pass. Great catch. Even better finish.
Outside Jennings. Dishes it to Ilyasova. Johnson kicks to Jennings. That's in there. Johnson with the assist. 17 points for Brandon Jennings.
Confident and composed on the three-point shot at a critical juncture. Clutch.
The 3. Rebound Andre Drummond. Drummond's got 6 rebounds here tonight. To the paint. It's tipped. It's stolen by Garnett. Fast break, Minnesota. Here's LaVine. Finished off the break.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Now here's Jennings. To the paint. Johnson the screen. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
And you can tolerate gaffes like that sometimes, but in a close game, man, I tell you what, that really hurts.
And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Andrew Wiggins checked in for Muhammad. Martin comes in for Zach LaVine, and Ricky Rubio subbed in for Miller. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the 4th quarter. Rubio outside. And there's the feed to Wiggins. Back to Rubio. 5 to shoot. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Rubio's got the lead up to 1 now for Minnesota. Now Jennings. Ilyasova, screen on Rubio. And Meeks kicks to Jennings. The dish to Johnson. Lets it go from deep. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Towns has got 4 rebounds in this game. Pass to Rubio. Kevin Martin on the wing. That 3 off the mark. The Pistons have gone 6 of 12 from the field here in the fourth and even 50%. Meeks, good.
He is pouring it on in the second half, guys. I mean, a much better showing than he had before the break.
For Minnesota, they've gotten more than 58% of their attempts to go down for them in the fourth quarter. They're 7 of 12, and it's good. And 11 points here for Ricky Rubio. Clark, neither team with a big advantage here in the fourth quarter.
5 times we've had the lead switch so far. I mean, back and forth we go.
And Clark, that could rise again before we're through.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. They're behind by 1. 1:36 left in the fourth quarter. .136 left in the fourth quarter. The drive by Jennings. And the rebound goes to Martin. Martin's got his 4th rebound in this one.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Now here is Martin. Lets it go from 11. That doesn't go either for Martin.
You know what? Those are shots you just hate to miss when you get those kinds of bunnies on a possession.
Meeks passes to Jennings. He dishes it to Drummond. Nice pass, nice catch, and a resounding dunk. There is just no way, Clark, to tell who is going to pull this one out.
You know what, Kevin? I think looking at this game, it may very well come down to one crucial key play.
Clark, that's a great point. When you have this many lead changes, you're looking to see which one of those plays is going to be a momentum swinger.
.50 seconds left in the game. Jennings dishes to Drummond. And boy, that looked like goaltending. Yes, it is. And so they will award the basket there.
What a bucket at one of the more crucial moments of the game.
How about the cool, collected way in which he delivered it? Clutch.
Minnesota with the ball. They trail by 3. Outside, Martin fires for 3. Count it! A tremendous 3 to tie it up.
You know, the defense was lax right there, and he's able to make them pay.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. Here is Jennings. Money!
Really tough to stop Brandon Jennings right now.
We've got 28 seconds left in the fourth.
Now you need every basket you can get.
Greg, I think they're still alive here, but they better execute every trip down the floor from here on out.
Yeah, heard the whistle and then kept his focus and able to still knock it down.
And Greg, to be able to take the bump like that and maintain control, that's not easy to do. I know you're kind of a little fella, and I was a big guy when I played, so I know how difficult that is. That was impressive.
I see.
He sinks the clutch free throw.
Yeah, how about the bucket to tie with the D just all over him. The free throw to give them the lead. Just a fantastic play all around.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. They're down by 1. 20 seconds left to play here in the fourth. What do you think, guys?
You know what? Enough time that they can run whatever play they're most comfortable with.
Definitely. I mean, they're in good shape here, in my opinion. Shot clock's off, but still enough time left on the game clock to really run your normal set here.
And so it's Detroit with the ball. It's a 1-point game. The pass to Ilyasova. Good!
They do have a foul to give here.
You might see them use it at some point.
Now here is Martin. He's guarded by Meeks. And Rubio kicks to Martin. It's off. And so the big win by Detroit in a tight game. That was a fun night of basketball and fabulous finish as Clark, they continued to wait out until the very last moment to seal it.
Yep, and it might not be the way a coach would have drawn it up or wanted it to end, but these fans loved it.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And standing by for the postgame show, let's head over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back for the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Brandon Jennings.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
Things haven't been pretty for them lately, but his performance in this win is definitely a step in the right direction. He wanted this one badly. You could tell that right off the bat. He put his game into another gear and was playing angry tonight, fellas.
And that'll do it for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Hope you enjoyed the show. From myself, Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, have a wonderful evening.